Hey everybody, welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. We're now over 99,000 subscribers, on the road to 100,000, and if you've been holding off subscribing, what are you waiting for? Get in, hit subscribe, and without further ado, here are my Filthiest Pitches of the Day. I'm going to start with Wright, who had 7 strikeouts thanks to his curveballs and changeups. And his curveball is filthy. It's one of those sweeping curveballs, a little bit like Charlie Morton's. Opponents are hitting only 188 against that curveball with a 36.7% whiff rate, and they're only hitting 139 against his changeup, so pick your poison. Justin Verlander had another solid outing. He threw 7 innings, giving up no earned runs, but he did give up 4 runs. And he only surrendered 3 hits. He had 5 strikeouts thanks to his fastball and slider, and here's an overlay that shows how his fastball and slider work together and why those pitches are so tough in combination. Verlander outdueled Edwin Cabrera, who did, though, have this 95.3 mile an hour changeup. I will never not be amazed by these high-velocity changeups. Jeffrey Springs threw 5 1/3 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits and had 5 strikeouts. He had this White Castle special and this 80 mile an hour changeup. He's been really good this year. His ERA, 1.45. Graham Ashcraft didn't have a great outing, but he did have this 97 mile an hour dead zone cutter. That was filthy. And while we're talking about cutters, Kutter Crawford got a start yesterday for the Red Sox. He threw 5 innings of one-hit ball with 7 strikeouts thanks, to his cutter. If I knew names were so important to pitching, I would have named my kid Wicked Slider. Wicked Slider Friedman does have kind of a ring to it. Carlos Rodon gave up only 2 hits over 6 innings with 8 strikeouts thanks to his fastball and slider. He doesn't even have to trick hitters. Sometimes 99 miles an hour straight down the dick will do. Rodon outdueled Julio Urias, who had 10 strikeouts, but gave up 2 runs, both on home runs. My filthiest pitch by a starter yesterday was Taijuan Walker's splitters. Check these out. Walker had 10 strikeouts over 6 one-run innings. He outdueled Patrick Sandoval, who did have these nasty changeups and 8 strikeouts. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Josh Hader annihilated the side. John Schreiber had this wicked slider, and Tanner Houck had this sinker-slider combo, picking up the save as the Red Sox had 6 pitchers combined for a shutout. Tommy Nance had this filthy slider sword. Frank Schwindel got to pitch and had this record-setting performance. Well, it's not a record that you really want to set, but he did have the slowest pitch ever hit for a home run in the statcast era. Thanks to Codified Baseball for that stat. And check this out. This pitch came in at over 20 feet off the ground. Unfortunately, it left a little higher and further. So much for the idea of don't swing hard, let the pitcher supply the power on a home run. On the other side of the spectrum, Emmanuel Clase pitched and had this 100 mile an hour cutter and insane sliders. Clase's stuff is dominant. Not only does he throw the fastest cutter in history, but his slider has a 44% whiff rate. I also got to feature Clase on my pregame segment on Peacock TV. Check this out.
Let's take a look at that bullpen. That bullpen can be very, very good for them.
Oh, absolutely. Emmanuel Clase is one of my favorite pitchers to watch in baseball. The fastest cutter, maybe of all time, certainly currently. Faster than Corbin Burns, and even faster than another closer who had a pretty good cutter back in the day. Be sure to tune in. I'm on every Sunday morning, just like cartoons used to be. Yeah, I'm kind of like Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh. The most dominant reliever yesterday? Yes, cue the trumpets. That was Edwin Diaz. Absolutely pure electricity. Check this out. Diaz came in for a 5-out save and got all 5 outs via strikeout. He dismantled Mike Trout with a combo of sliders and a 100 mile an hour fastball. And this at-bat shows you why Diaz is so tough to hit. Here's his slider overlaid with his fastball, and these things track the same way the entire time to the plate. So you can see that hitting is a guess, and you have very little time to guess when a pitch is coming in at 100 miles an hour. He also hit 102 miles an hour on this strikeout. I admit I screamed out 102 when I saw this pitch last night. Diaz is so much fun to watch pitch. In the college baseball super regionals, Trevin Michael for Oklahoma had this K and Kenny Powers celebration. Smell ya later. And my filthiest pitches of the day both came from minor leaguers. Jack Leftwich had this slider that almost got 2 balls with 1 strike. I'm quitting baseball right then and there if I am this hitter. This was almost a literal breaking ball. Lastly, Randy Vasquez of the Yankees organization had this evil black magic breaking ball. Look at this thing go. It looks fake. You may think the hitter is running the first base on this drop third strike, but he's actually running away from this baseball because it's evil and possessed, and he's worried that this thing's going to come back to life and hunt him down and take his soul. Just a vile and gross pitch. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. What do you get when you cross Hannibal Lecter and a rally monkey?